Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the Public Building Commission of Chicago pre-bid and tech review for the Chicago Department of Transportation Work Progress Administration Street Reconstruction Project on South Oakley Avenue, East 94th Street, and South Oakley Avenue. That's PBC contract number C1618. This is January 6th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Happy New Year. Brief agenda for this morning. We'll go over introductions. I'll then discuss some finer points in the procurement process and detail the portions of the pre-bid and the bid form. We'll then go into the compliance section, and then we'll talk a little bit about the technical review. I'm going to turn it over to our partners there. So briefly, let's go through some introductions. I'm James Borkman. I'm with the Public Building Commission of Chicago. Lisa?
Good morning, Lisa Gitteroff, PBC.
Randy?
Morning, Randy Williams, PBC.
Miguel?
Miguel Fernandez, PBC.
Minnie?
Minnie Keys, PBC.
Donna?
Donna Green, PBC.
Patrice?
Patrice Dole, PBC Compliance.
Kim?
Good morning, Kimberly Smith, Compliance PBC.
Good morning. So, and I think I've got everyone from the PBC. We also have our partners from CDOT and their relationship. Jackie, I know that you're here.
James, you left me out. Will Green, PBC.
Oh, Will, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay.
D. Taylor, PBC, Procurement and Compliance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And James, this is Robert Ochi, PBC.
Wow. Okay. Welcome to the PBC. Very good. Yes.
Thank you, James.
So this is CDOT. I'm Jacqueline Samuel, WPA Program Manager, and I have the design team with us, Civil Tech.
Hi.
Tom?
Yes, Tom Constantine with Civil Tech, and Nick Vanderswan is here as well.
Morning, everyone. Yep, Nick Vanderswan with Civil Tech Engineering.
Good morning, everybody. I believe we have Michelle Haram from FH Passion on for general contractors. She's having technical issues. And then we also have John Clark from Peralta Clark on as well. Are there any subcontractors or suppliers that would like to introduce themselves? Okay, so at this time, we'll go ahead and get started. The project is located on South Oakley Avenue from West Garfield Boulevard to West 57th Street, East 94th Street from East End Avenue to South Krieger, and another portion of South Oakley Avenue from West 58th Street to West 59th Street. The general overview and scope of work: standard earth excavation, Portland cement concrete base course, a hot mix asphalt surface course, sewer main, water main, and drainage structures, concrete curb and gutter, also concrete sidewalks, tactile detectable warning surface system for curb ramps. There are driveways and alleys in this project, roadway lighting, thermoplastic pavement marking, the signage, as well as topsoil sodding and tree removal and planting. All of these will be discussed in detail in the technical review portion of today's presentation. The contractor is required to prepare a phasing and logistics plan for review and approval by CDOT and the PBC before commencing or mobilizing for this project. The time of completion requirements for this project can be found in Book 1. This is Section E. Right now, as is published, you'll see the scheduled milestones and substantial completion date. Substantial completion has to be achieved no later than October 31st of 2025, with a scheduled first milestone for permitting, mobilization, and site control, as well as the submittals, no later than March 31st, 2025, commencing no sooner than January 14th. Substantial completion, as discussed, is October 31st, 2025, with no sooner start than April 1st. And the scheduled milestone number 2 is the landscaping. This is a fall landscaping schedule starting at October 1st, 2025, and wrapping up by November 30th, 2025. For this project, the liquidated damages, as stated in Book 1, are $1,000 per day for failure to achieve SC and $500 per day for failure to achieve each of those milestone dates. All the documents are available on the PBC website and from our online plan room with our printing contractor Cushing and Company. You can find the PBC Current Opportunities page by clicking on the link here for Oakley 94th and Oakley. All of the drawings and tech specs are available from the online plan room, as I said, at Cushing Co. And their contact information with Diane Nelson being our contact there is included just below. As you know, the PBC is very proud of its M&W commitments. We're very, very, very adamant that we want partners and partnerships to be developed. To that end, we have a number of assist agencies that work with the communities and surrounding areas. We highly encourage you to work with the assist agencies. All of the information and their contact information can be found in Book 1 as well as on the PBC's website at pbcchicago.com under Doing Business and then the Assist Agencies tab. Immediately following this meeting, we'll have the tech review meeting. No site visit has been scheduled at this time. However, as you all know, just because there hasn't been a site visit scheduled, it does not relieve the bidder of their responsibility to become familiar with and understand the sites, the locations, as well as the contract documents. Any RFIs are to come directly to me. I'm the contract officer for this contract, james.borkman@cityofchicago.org. The current deadline is January 10th, 2025 at 4 p.m. So Friday at 4 p.m., please. As of right now, no addenda, I'm sorry, Thursday, Friday. As of right now, however, no addenda have been issued. The current bid due date and bid due time are Thursday, January 23rd, 2025, and 11 o'clock in the morning. Of course, that's subject to change by addenda, but as I said right now, no addenda have been issued. The bids are opened on the PBC's live stream found on our YouTube and Facebook sites, and you can always find the recording of the bid opening as well as the bid tabulation documents right on our website at the current opportunities page for this project. Your bid submission is consistent with previous Works Progress Administration documentation. You'll have one complete copy of the Book 1 bid document, all original signatures or digital signature. If it's a scanned page, that's fine. However, we need your submission to be mostly PDF searchable. Those signature pages obviously may not be. You must include your bid bond, and you must include the master bid form with all 3 schedules of prices completed, as well as the PDF version of the Excel bid form. The PDF document should be in a searchable format, just as I said before, not a scanned copy, with the exception of those signature pages. When you submit your bid, you'll email it to myself, james.borkman@cityofchicago.org, and pbc-procurement@cityofchicago.org. If you need to submit a hard copy for some reason, we do not encourage that any longer, but if you need to, you can request instructions for submitting a hard copy directly to my attention, james.borkman@cityofchicago.org. As of right now, a pre-award meeting with the apparent lowest responsible bidder is scheduled for Monday, January 28th, 2025 at 10:30 in the morning. That will be a virtual meeting. The notice of award is anticipated to go to our February. Dave, if you would please mute yourself, I'd appreciate it. Notice of award is anticipated at our February 2025 board meeting, and the successful contractor would need to submit a compliant COI and payment and performance bond within 7 days of the NOA. I'll now briefly go over some of the highlights that we would like to point out in Book 1 and Book 2. First, we have the estimated construction budget for this project at $8 to $8.5 million. On page 5, you'll find the mandatory project staffing requirements for this project. Scheduling software requirements can be found on page 6. Liquidated damages can also be found on page 6. And the current prevailing wage rates that were available at the time this was published can be found on page 7, as well as the further requirements with a direct link to the Illinois Department of Labor's website on page 46. As I said earlier, the PBC is very proud of our M&W commitments and compliance department. To that end, we highly encourage joint venture opportunities. If you'd like to joint venture, you need to complete this document, which is a Schedule B, a joint venture affidavit, letting us know that you're going to joint venture. You can find it on page 31 in book 1. And you'd also need to submit a JV agreement between you and the joint venture partner, as well as the certification letter of that joint venture. As Patrice will remind you momentarily, we only accept Cook County and City of Chicago certification. The bid form. I want to take a little bit of time and explain the bid form for the WPA street projects. It's fully automated. This bid form has to be used in its native Excel format. The bid form has spaces for each of the 3 roads, streets that are involved, boulevard and street that are involved with this project, and it automatically populates. Across the bottom of the bid form, you'll find 3 separate tabs, one for each of the roads, streets involved in this project. As you populate these, the master bid form will automatically fill in. All you need to do, this is looking at the South Oakley and Garfield Avenue location, is complete your unit pricing located in the red circled area. The unit pricing will automatically total and will move that total into the base work only section of the bid form. Finally, we need you to complete your surety information and your bidders information. As you can see, the total from all streets and avenues will automatically populate for you. Lastly, you'll complete your award criteria figure formula sheet. As Patrice will briefly highlight in a moment, these are the minority journey worker, minority apprentice, minority laborer, female journey worker, female apprentice, and female laborer commitments you're willing to make for this project. You'll also complete the bidder's information on this sheet. This will provide the automatic, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, line 14, grand total award criteria figure for the project. For the Public Building Commission, award will be made to the responsible bidder submitting the lowest grand total award criteria figure, whose grand total base bid is within the funds available for each street or avenue and is otherwise responsive to all requirements of the CDs. You're required to fill out the entire bid form. Failure to do so deems you unresponsive. The commission reserves the right to reject any and all bids wherever it's in the best interest of the commission. And finally, any materially unbalanced bids are rejected. I would now like to briefly introduce Patrice. Patrice is our Director of Compliance, and she'll walk us through some of the finer points regarding this project. Patrice.
Good morning, and thank you, James. So for this project, the MBE and WBE goals are 26% MBE and 6% WBE. We only accept certification from the City of Chicago or Cook County. And for additional information, Book 2, Article 23 is where our MBE, WBE special conditions can be found. And again, they must be certified in the scope of work that they're performing and certified with the City of Chicago and or Cook County. The maximum award criteria figure for this project is 70% minority journey worker, 70% minority apprentice, 70% minority labor. The maximum is 15% female journey workers, 15% female apprentice, 15% female labor. You do not have to say that you're gonna do the maximum requirements, but once you identify on award criteria figure, that's the percentage you'll be committed to, and that's the percentages of the total hours worked on the project. The community hiring goal for this project is 7.5%. The city residency goal is 50%, and of those total hours, again, it must meet the 7.5% community hiring and the 50% city residency. This is the community area map for this project, so that 7.5% should come from the community areas that are identified on the community hiring map. B2G now is our MBE WBE compliance monitoring system. Established businesses, those are MBE or WBE firms that are in the process of graduating from certification, and they will receive the credit amount of their certification from the city and or Cook County. So if this their first year, they'll receive 75% credit, second year 50% credit, third year 25% credit. Manufacturers receive 100% credit, suppliers receive 60% credit, and brokers receive 0. You must submit a Schedule D as well as a Schedule C with your bid package. This is the Schedule D. The credit amounts that I mentioned earlier should appear on the Schedule D, not the contract value. So for the established MBE or WBE, if they are in their second year of graduation, they'll only receive 50% credit. So if their contract value is 100%, it's 100,000, then 50% should appear on the Schedule D. With the suppliers, if their contract value is 100,000, only 60,000 should appear on the Schedule D. This is the credit amount for the MBE and or WBE. The Schedule C, which should be completed by the subcontractors, identify the contract value. So their total contract value should appear on the Schedule C. The subcontracting level should be complete. If they're subbing out work to a non-M or WBE, they cannot receive that percentage of credit for their MBE WBE participation. If they are subcontracted to an M or WBE, they will receive credit. Just make sure this section is completed. It's often overlooked when submitting the Schedule C. Again, the Schedule C is the contract value and the Schedule D is the contract credit amount. Back to you, James.
Thanks, Patrice. Again, I'm the sole point of contact for this project. My email is right here on the screen. Just click it. You can email me if you have any questions, james.borkman@cityofchicago.org. I'll now briefly introduce Tom Constein, who will take us through the technical review portion of this project. Tom?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, James. We'll dive a little into the details of our 3 sites here. The first being 94th Street from Southeast End Avenue to South Krieger, South Oakley Avenue from West 58th Street to West 59th Street, and South Oakley Avenue from West Garfield Boulevard to West 57th Street. East 94th Street from Southeast End to South Krieger will go over the existing conditions, the proposed conditions, any local coordination, and any concerns we have with the site. As you can see in the photos, the existing roadway is in very poor condition. There's no curb or gutter on either side, and the pavement's rutting, potholes, various patching. So we'll have 3 intersections that this project will cover, which is East End, Ridgeland, and South Krieger. As mentioned previously about the curb and gutter, the poor pavement condition, that's the primary concern with this project, and we'll also be replacing that fence along that south side. For a roadway, we have a 33-foot right-of-way to deal with, so we don't have the typical 66-foot with this one. In order to reduce our catch basins to 3, we super elevated the cross slope to drain to the south side, and we put in a storage pipe that connects at East End and Krieger. 24-foot roadway, as well as new driveways and alley aprons along that north side. We'll be installing a 5-foot sidewalk on the north side as well, and ADA crossing at South Ridgeland Avenue. Our detention design for this uses a 36-inch ductile iron pipe. We have 3 catch basins, 6 total manholes. We connect to the existing mains on East End and Krieger, but we will not connect on Ridgeland, but we will be replacing the manhole at that location. Our water main design is, so we have 8-inch main for the entire limits of the project and 1 fire hydrant. On this site, there are no service lines, and we'll be abandoning the other main at its location. We put together a maintenance traffic plan for this project. We'll be able to do a full closure. At the alley locations, they just need access for waste disposal. And at a Krieger and 94th, that southeast corner, that resident only has access off of Krieger. So that will need to be coordinated to ensure that they can access their home and driveway. Our lighting design is pretty typical across the entire WPA program. It'll be the piggyback lighting with the acorn pedestrian luminaire and the Cobra head for the street luminaire. Landscaping. This project and 94 doesn't have too much. There are tree removals along that south side by that fence line. And we will be filling in the back of that curb line on the south side with grass and sod and topsoil. Our next site is South Oakley Avenue from 58th to 59th Street. We'll go over the existing proposed and the local coordination. Similar to our other project on 94th, the typical pavement is HMA and it's in fairly poor condition. The existing roadway kind of varied from 28 to 31 feet. There were no curb lines. Determine that we'll have 2 intersections on this project with 58th Street and 59th Street. So as mentioned, the lack of curb and gutter and poor pavement condition on this site. There's also some details were discussed during our MOT slide with some additional concerns for fixed construction of this project. So we'll have a 31-foot roadway here. And we'll reconstruct it. There's a number of driveways and alley aprons up and down this side, so there'll be quite a bit of work in replacing those. We will have putting in a new ADA crossing at 59th Street. It's also worth noting that this 59th Street does have a CTA bus route that we will need to maintain for this project. Similar with our 94th Street project, we also have another detention design. It'll be a 24-inch and 36-inch ductile iron storm sewer. We have 5 manholes and 3 catch basins for this site. So this is for our water design. It'll be 8-inch main for the project limits. There are 7 lead service lines and 1 fire hydrant. With those lead service lines, anything that crosses our sewer, I believe there's 3 on this site, will need to be temporarily supported with either a type 2 or type 3 temporary support. We have details for those in our plans. The type 3 will be used for anything less than 3 inches, and anything 3 inches or greater will be used in the type 2. For maintenance of traffic, this project we broke down into 3 different stages. There's a number of companies up and down on this stretch of South Oakley, mostly dealing with vehicles. So we need to maintain this driveway at the northwest corner of 59th Street. So we'll do that work at that location first. That should allow them to operate normally. And then we'll address everything outside of that little alley from 58th to Oakley. There is a loading dock at that location that we need to maintain access to. And we'll need to reconstruct half the driveway in order for them to have access for that, the duration of the project. And then we'll fill that last space in stage 3. Lighting, same as before. It'll just be the piggyback with the Cobra and Acorn luminaires. Oakley has, yes, it is tree removals, tree plantings, and then topsoil and sod. Most of the tree removals are further towards 58th Street, as well as the tree plantings. Yeah. Our third site is Oakley from Garfield Boulevard to 57th Street. So our existing condition varies from 25 to 28 feet. This is another one that there is some curb work at the intersections of 56th Street, and I believe again at Garfield, but typically our site does not have much curb and gutter. This site will cover the 56th Street and Garfield. The 57th Street is actually outside of our limits for this one. Similar with our other projects, I mean, typical poor pavement condition. You can see rutting, visible potholes, no visible drainage anywhere. So that's why this fell to the WPA program. We'll put together a 30-foot face-to-face roadway with curb and gutter, and then new driveways and alley aprons up and down. There's a lot of residents have driveways, and there's also, I think, a chemical supply company closer to 57th Street that has 3 large garage doors that we'll discuss during our MOT plans. Yeah, we'll be installing crossings for both legs of the 56th Street intersection. That'll be all of our ADA work. There won't be any ADA work at Garfield or by 57th. This project a little bit different than our detention design for the previous 2. Department of Water Management wanted to upsize the existing sewer from a 12-inch to a 24-inch, and we'll have 4 manholes, 9 catch basins, and 4 inlets to go with that design. Water main, we'll install the 8-inch water main along this. It's quite some. I think it's maybe 1,300 or 1,400 feet. We have 29 lead service lines, so we have quite a bit of work with replacing all those lines and a number of crossings for the 24-inch sewer. Anything crossing a trench greater than 3 feet needs to be supported, which is any utility 18 inches or larger. So for us, the 24-inch sewer classifies that. We will also need to support the water main over the 24-inch sewer that we're building out to 56th Street. There is a DWM in-house sewer project that is anticipated to be completed by June before the start of this project. Similar with our project, we put together a maintenance traffic plan for this. We put it together in 3 stages. This first stage allows access from 57th down the right side of Oakley and then out through that alley. That alley loops past 56th Street and connects near Garfield. So the residents on that side will have access to their garages with that staging. Second part is just to do the work that's not covered in there, which would be that portion by 57th Street by the chemical manufacturer on Oakley. And then our third stage will be to get the second half of that portion. We need to make sure at least 1 or 2 of the garage doors are open so that they can operate normally. Yeah, our landscaping design. This portion of Oakley is residential pretty much on both sides, so there'll be quite a few parkway trees. We have 35 of them. There'll be a number of tree removers as well, and a considerable amount of topsoil and sod. Similar with the lighting is the piggyback for the Cobra Head and the Acorn Luminaire. We have plans calling out the locations and details in our book 3 and our plans for this work.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
At this time, we're happy to entertain any questions regarding the presentation. Okay, well,
So
we thank you.
Well, this is Will. I want to ask a question about the 36-inch ductile iron pipe versus the water main. We just had the project on Central Avenue, which was basically the same thing. Are we ensuring that we're making the clearance, because only need 10 feet of space between the water main and the 36-inch ductile iron pipe?
Well, so with the clearance, the primary concern wasn't getting the horizontal clearance. It was with the thickness of the RCP pipe, we couldn't cross the water surfaces over with sufficient coverage. So that was why we changed to ductile iron.
Okay. That makes sense then, because I know we were able to save a lot of money because of the fact that was reinforced concrete pipe versus ductile iron, which we didn't. All we needed was the parallel distance.
Yeah, the horizontal separation of 10 feet.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Will.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to the Chicago Department of Transportation Work Progress Administration Street Reconstruction Project for Oakley 94th at Oakley. If you have any questions, I am the sole point of contact, james.borkman@cityofchicago.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you.